the boundlessness. This has been my journey. The walking the grids was to let go of time and let go of expectation and just let go of everything. And so what it says about in the presence of someone who has ignited the 35th CD, people can have huge awakenings. And so that's what our pod is experiencing, and especially thank you, Ruthie. Yes, these ones are, because I'm still seeing a lot of light behind me, so the real lights are officially on.
That is awesome.
Thank we. Yeah, and so a huge, really what the 35th gene is about is learning to flow with life rather than control life, and love the experience, love life, and what life brings to you. And so that's what the whole path of 35 is about. And once you embody it, you role model it for others. And inside of that embodiment, one begins to truly dance with creation. Because now we are in acceptance of what the universe brings our way, and we learn to love it. We learned because our journey is always between us and our higher self. Always. And so why is the 35th gene the shortcut out? Because the 35th gene, what the trick of the 35th gene really is to tune inward, to listen to the music. As Coop Blackson says, the miracle is you. And now that we have broken free of the patterning of indoctrination, the patterning of the Western world, then one can truly begin to dance with creation. One can truly begin to dance with the higher self. One can truly begin to love with the beloved through tuning into the simplistic. And that truly is the beauty of life, which is why Richard Rudd speaks about, the 2027 babies, and we'll go into a long state of silence and awe and become the humans we were always meant to be, which is, in Guillerme's sharing of his journey in the cornfield, it was so felt, it was so embodied. His sharing of it was a reflection of his true embodiment of the experience itself. And when I'm tuning in with people, listening to their aura, listening to their words, seeing if they align, not from a place of judgment or whatever, it's just listening into the attunement. Is a person's story in alignment with what they really experienced? Or is their head telling one story when their heart experienced something different? Because truth lies in the alignment between the story being told by the head and the story being felt by the heart. And when we can bring those two together, that's the shortcut. That's the 35th gene. And when we recognize that creation is truly benevolent, then can relax into the journey together within ourselves, with our higher selves. And the higher self is all loving, all knowing, and guiding. And the, let's just say, indoctrination of the systems of the Western world, or where things went askew in some aspect of creation, or at least it feels like it in a way. We are truly coming home to the music of the spheres, which is spacious, and that's why we'll call it the butterfly stream. Guillermet's sharing of being in the crop circle or the cornfields with the butterfly guiding the way. And these truly are the miracles, and this is why Richard says the trappings of the Western world will fall away, which is what is happening within us, within our golden pod, for certain. And we are attuning and aligning within ourselves together in a way that may not be seen or experienced in its fullness from our current sensory systems, our current quotation marks 5 senses. And yet when we remain in alignment and attunement and listen, everything is perfectly aligned within us. And the piece that we were sharing in the miracle coordinate of another transmission, perhaps I may have been sharing about having the 51st gene, I believe, is the core wound in the original blueprint of Lee's chart, and that's the shaman, and the shadow frequency is unease. So it's the one that is always reading the field. It's also shamanic. It's, you know, you could say in the times of the dinosaurs, it was the cave person that said, "Run, danger's coming." And then run, danger is coming turned into stress. 9 to 5, 5 days a week, taxes, borders, boundaries, passports, children, blah, blah, blah. And as we make the choice within us powerfully, through discernment, we choose. We do not consent to the old structures, which is what we have been doing. We have been drawing our energy inward and taking our power back from the agreement, which is why the guidance has guided us from saying, we're not putting a contribute button, we're not doing a PayPal donate, blah, 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 to have the golden pod equalize how much energy we are giving to the external and the internal. And by withdrawing drawing our energy through following the way that the guidance has guided us with the transmissions through the money piece and other pieces. Money was a primary piece. What we've actually been doing is equalizing the energy that we are placing on the external to the energy we are placing on the internal, because the transmissions, Flight Lessons 101, have been guiding us how to balance the internal waters again, so that we're not running from the internal. It's actually a joyous place to be. The external of the old had us place an unbalanced, unequalized amount of energy on survival in the external, which was all just a creation anyways, and filled with all kinds of signatures, loopholes, and traps for believing that there was danger in doing something wrong. That's one of the pieces it's been tracking in Ruthie's field, and working on step by step is just Ruthie sitting down in the miracle coordinate a few miracle coordinate nights ago, and the guidance looking at her and going, "What are you hiding?" And Ruthie's searching inside of herself. What am I hiding? The guidance is going, no, don't search for the thing. The program is to hide something. The program was to hide, as though there was something dangerous outside of the self, which then had the collective place an unequal amount of focus on the external realms. And what we have been doing is equalizing the field, and that's what all of these teachings have been doing for our golden pod. Every time the guidance has come in to take the reins of the horse and go, hey, you get back here, bring your guidance, bring your focus back here, bring your energy back here, the things that we call the lion paw slaps, etc. What they have been doing is monitoring and without coming forward and saying it, assisting us to rebalance the equalization of the field and where we are placing our energy and focus. And so that is how and why our pod is beginning to experience zero together. Because 0 point is when the external and the internal focus are equal. And that's one thing I learned having the 35th gene as my radiance. Is I started to discover that if things outside of me were not miraculous, it was for one simple adjustment, attunement I could make in myself, and the miraculous would flow again. And that was that I would go, I get it. I'm hungering for something outside of me, or in the belief that I have to run, survive, work harder, work faster, do whatever, travel more. And so then I would just say, I get it. I need to just balance my focus, which didn't mean going and sitting in a cave for 3 days and meditating. It just showed me to literally turn more focus inward while continuing to wax on wax off. And then instant miracles. So this is another Flight Lessons 101, like riding the bike and pedaling, getting your hands, physically feeling our hands on the handlebars and our feet on the pedals and pedaling and getting that feeling of stability on the bike. This is exactly the same thing. And this is a higher attunement of what and why we have been doing what we have been doing. Because, as Richard says in the 35th CD, those who have ignited this CD have flown, levitated, teleported, materialized, dematerialized, and so on. That is the attunement that we have been being brought to in a step-by-step process based on the collective's capacity to hear and receive the teaching beyond the blinders that have been on. Just like yesterday when Elawan in Miracle Coordinate and I were driving in the car, and I was sharing the directions we were going and said 10 times, turn right. And Elawan said, yap, yap, with her left signal on in the left-hand lane. When I just, in neutral, continued to say, turn right here. So the teachings, the transmissions, Guillermo sent me a note and he had an inspiration for unitycodes.love as a URL, which was really beautiful. And also, I really love his puresourcecodes.love. And the Unity transmissions was named transmissions for a reason, because they're transmissions, and transmissions is a code word in the language. And Guillermo was sharing that he had read the 22nd gene today and saying, oh my we, or oh we, wow. And in the 22nd gene, Richard talks about the original transmissions of Buddha, Christ, and Merlin. These are transmissions from Source. And the cosmic mother in the 22nd gene has always remained in her wholeness. And that's what these unity transmissions are. So when Richard speaks about Buddha and Jesus and so on as being transmissions and how they ended up swaying very far from the simplicity of the original transmission, that's what the unity transmissions are. They have come to restore the original transmissions of truth of Flight Lessons 101.